Since arriving on Sodor, Victorion, the female combiner, somehow had her memory banks fried, meaning she and the Torchbearers couldn't remember anything before coming to the island. Recently, however, a new Transformers show had been debuting on the screens, and with Victorion being featured in it, her banks were jolted as she and the Torchbearers began to remember what had happened following their first accidental combination. It started with Combiner Wars, followed by Titan's Return, and more recently, Power of the Primes. And it was this final series which eventually gave Victorion the answer she was searching for. But not in the way she or the Torchbearers expected. One night, Richard and Wilhelmina were sleeping in the Combiner Lab sheds. All was quiet. Until the N15 and W1 were awoken by a loud yelp from the lab. "Are you alright, Victorion?" called Richard.
"I'm fine now,"
came the reply.
"Sorry."
The next day, Wilhelmina saw Victorion preparing to bring some container flatbeds back to the harbour.
"Sounded like you were having a nightmare last night,"
she said.
"I saw a robot's body lying on the ground.
Explained Victorion.
Then I got knocked over and felt something grip my neck before suddenly losing consciousness. Do you think that dream gave you a clue to more memories?"
asked Wilhelmina.
"I believe so,"
replied Victorion.
"except the truth feels closer than it's ever been before. Like we're finally about to solve the mystery of why I'm here. I'm sure we'll figure it all out soon,"
said Wilhelmina.
"For now, the best thing we can do is carry on with our work like a really useful engine."
With that, Victorion sneaked nervously away. When her brake van cleared the station, Wilhelmina's driver walked up.
"Wilhelmina,
She said.
you may want to look at this."
Later, Thomas was at the top station, waiting to start his run back to the junction. His driver soon approached him, with a stunned look on his face. "You alright?" asked Thomas. "The latest Machinima Prime Wars episode was aired today," he replied. "Does it provide more clues about Victorion's past?" "I think it gave us the final answer," he stammered, before showing Thomas the video.
Is sure to be found within the Sanctorum's databanks. It's only a matter of time.
Finally!
Hot rod? Release me! The villain else taste the sharp edge of my...
Victorion's the lucky one, Megatron. She went quick. But with you, I'm gonna take my sweet time.
Thomas was speechless. "I think we've finally solved Victorion's mystery," said the driver, and he walked away, leaving the E2 lost in thought. It took a while for Thomas to process what his driver showed. As he neared the junction, his face paled when he saw Victorion at the mainline platform.
Are you alright, Thomas?
Asked Victorion.
You look like you've seen Starscream's ghost.
Just some silly person walking over my grave, replied Thomas.
If you insist. Why didn't you say anything to her, Thomas?
Asked Annie. How could I? Replied Thomas. She might have a panic attack like how Adeline did when she ran her first train with her handle back in 2012.
But she soon fought off that fear and won in the end.
Said Annie.
You do raise a point though, Thomas.
Added Clarabelle.
Honestly, if there's one loco who can tell her, I'm sure we can all agree it's Edward. He's the one who brought her back to life after all.
The others agreed. As Edward wasn't used on the main line as often as he once was, Thomas wouldn't see him for several days. Victorion sometimes saw him as she passed through the junction on her regular high-speed runs, and took notice of the nervous and pale looks on his face. It wasn't long before she and the Torchbearers became more concerned.
Are you sure you're okay, Thomas?
Asked Pyromagna.
Something looks to have really upset you.
Added Dust Up. Oh, I'm sorry, said Thomas hastily. I can't tell you. And he hurried away. Where the hell are you, Edward? He thought to himself.
This isn't like him.
Said Jumpstream.
I think you lot should have a chat with Edward next time you see him.
Advised Pip. Pyromagna set off more worried than ever.
What's going on with Thomas?
It wasn't just Victorion who noticed this change in the E2's behavior.
Do you think he's also seen the episode?
Rebecca asked Sandy one day.
He must have done.
Replied Sandy.
He's probably waiting to tell Edward about it, though. I don't think Reuploaded had the spark to tell her closest friends about her own soul's fate.
Added Wilhelmina. Oh, I hope Hot Rod will be able to recover from this in the end, said Richard.
I'm not so sure.
Said Rebecca.
That mix of chaos has really done a number on the poor chap. No doubt thanks to Unicron.
Agreed Sandy.
Maybe if we get a chance on a trip to Vickerstown, one of us could see her at the lab.
The chance came sooner than expected. That afternoon, the Fat Controller came to see Richard. Richard, I need you to bring one more goods train to Barrow before the midnight goods this evening. Can Sandy come along, please, sir? Asked Richard. The Fat Controller was puzzled at first, but the tiny pink diesel soon brought him up to speed.
Please, sir.
She said.
You really want to help Victorion move on.
Very well, sighed the Fat Controller. but wait until Edward tells her first. Meanwhile, Victorion was asking Edward about Thomas at Brandon.
Thomas paling whenever he sees you? That doesn't sound like him at all.
I know.
Replied Victorion.
It's as if he sees me as something from a horror film. I feel like he's hiding something from me.
I'll be sure to talk with him if he's at the junction, as I'll be stopping there, said Edward. I know he'll open up to me.
And he puffed away. As Edward turned onto the main line, he saw Richard and Sandy passing with their goods, equally sad.
Something's not right,
he thought to himself. Edward soon arrived at the junction, where he waited for Thomas. Soon, the E2 arrived. "Oh, Edward!" he exclaimed. "Am I glad to see you!"
Victorion tells me you've been looking bogged down these last few days, Thomas, began Edward. She also says you've been staring at her as if she's from a horror movie. What's the matter?
Thomas sighed. Victorion's mystery has finally been solved, he replied. But not in the way you'd think. And explained which driver showed him. Edward was equally speechless. "I just don't know how she'll react," said Thomas sadly.
Don't worry, Thomas, said Edward. Leave everything to me.
And with that, the K2 steamed away. Soon he and Gordon were preparing for their evening trains. Gordon noticed the old engine's downcast look. "What's the matter, Edward?" he asked.
Do you know where Victorion is, Gordon?
"Last I saw, she was preparing to take out the midnight goods," replied Gordon. "I assume this is to do with the recent episode?"
How did you?
"Sandy's driver showed me earlier," explained Gordon. "What an absolute pity. It wasn't even Hot Rod's fault. Before you ask, I didn't tell her anything. That overlord is just disgraceful!"
Disgusting,
added James. "Despicable," spluttered Henry.
Disrespectful!
Huffed Rebecca. "He'd better get what's coming to him," Gordon finished, starting away. Edward stayed silent at first. He looked to the other big engines.
Please, don't say a word to her about this,
he said darkly. The others agreed. To say Overlord caused confusion and delay is an understatement. Don't worry, Edward. You also have my word.
Thank you, sir, said Edward. I really appreciate it.
Soon the guard blew her whistle, and Edward puffed sadly away. Edward returned a few hours later. dropped off his coaches and hurried to the yard. He found Victorion waiting to leave with the midnight goods.
Hey, Edward.
Edward didn't respond.
Are you alright, Edward?
Edward stared at first. He secretly dreaded telling the female combiner what became of her, but knew he had to get it off his boiler. He took a deep breath and spoke.
You know how the Machinima Prime Wars trilogy has been jolting your memory banks?
All too well.
Replied Victorion.
Has another episode been released?
Yes, answered Edward. But
what?
it finally tells your ultimate fate, said Edward sadly. Thomas wants to apologize for not telling you sooner. And he told Victorion what Thomas had witnessed. By the time he finished, Victorion had gone silent. Her mouth hung open. The energon flowing through her ran cold, and her spark had skipped a beat. Memories came flooding back all at once. Her brief fight with Devastator, her time as the corrupted Ultimate Combiner by Starscream, her absorption of the Enigma of Combination, her and the others' combiners' attempt to activate Fortress Maximus, thinking Megatron had killed the Mistress of Flame, her own time as the Ultimate Combiner, and the tough battle with Trypticon, the giant T-Rex swallowing her and gaining her power, Megatronus Prime burning off Dust-Up's lower body, her, Windblade, Perceptor, and Megatron's encounter with the Dinobots' combined form of Volcanicus, the fear she felt when she first saw Predaking, meeting Optimus Primal for the Requiem Blaster, the journey to the Library of the Gods, all leading to Hot Rod grabbing her by the throat and taking her life in front of Windblade's optics. Then, a tear welled up in her optic, ran down her cheek, and landed on her running board.
I understand this is a lot to take in,
said Edward.
I'm so sorry, Victorion. But at least you know how you got here in the first place.
Thank you, Edward.
Said Victorion, and teary-eyed, she started off to the mainland. Poor Victorion was struggling to process what Edward told her.
Oh, God.
She whimpered.
What did Overlord make you do to my old self? You shouldn't blame yourself. Just over.
She tried to hide her tears, but soon couldn't help letting them out. The trucks were respectfully silent throughout most of the journey. by the time she reached the workstation, Victorion's emotions had changed from sadness to anger.
I might as well build a space bridge to finish that monster off myself.
She fumed. The trucks could see where the female combiner was coming from. Pay Overlord out! Pay Overlord out! They chanted together.
Wait down for what he did to you, Torchbearers!
Said a truck.
I don't know, chaps.
Said another.
Do you lot even know how the mixture of chaos made Hot Rod so strong?
Most didn't take notice.
All we'd need to do is knock his cog out of alignment, and the rest is ours!
Soon, Victorion arrived on the mainland, where Lincoln was waiting to take the trucks on. I'm not gonna say a word, he said wisely.
You're lucky I won't have to let you to scrap.
Victorion gritted as she went off to the lab. Bloody hell, that really has done a number on her, Lincoln thought to himself.
Okay, Victorion.
Victorion jumped when she saw Sandy in the siding.
I couldn't help but notice the upset look on your face as you rode through Vickerstown.
Sandy continued.
No, I'm not.
Victorion grunted crossly.
Oh Lord, may poor Hot Rod take my original life. So I heard.
Said Sandy.
I'm so sorry, Victorion. It's not yours or the engine's fault, Sandy. That monster is why I'm here.
Poor Victorion broke down in tears. Sandy initially stayed silent.
Listen to me, Victorion.
She said,
Overlord isn't why you're here. Edward is. But Edward has nothing to do with... Yes, that is true.
continued Sandy.
But he saw potential when your ghost started roaming the island. He knew the planet was at peace, and thought how nice it would be for Autobots and Decepticons not to fight each other. You differ so much from the other combiners, because you have the same gender as me. Now there is infinite in the ranks. The equality is starting to show that much more is to be had for combiners with our gender. And then there's Megatronia, your Decepticon equivalent. She's probably set aside her differences like the others. I guarantee at some point in the future, you'll be able to see all your old friends again, such as Moonracer and Windblade. You're a machine like me, and you've been fully reborn thanks to Edward. The reason why is because Transformers are completely different to the engines of today. You've been given a well-earned second chance, and now look what you've been doing. You're here, working alongside me and the other engines. You've enjoyed it so much. We're all so proud of you, Victorion. Any Autobot could have come to live here, but out of all of the little known members, I believe you filled that gap. And then there's Transformers Earth Wars. They've also given you lots some good publicity, and you're finally in the game. It only took them nearly 2 years. You're not a forgotten member of the TF continuity. You're just someone still adjusting to your different, but more memorable life.
At last, Victorion smiled.
Thank you, Sandy.
She said, and gave her a makeshift cuddle. Victorion returned to traffic several days later, having come to terms with what became of her original body. While she and the Torchbearers are still upset about how they came to the island, the team of 6 are also grateful that someone like Edward had given them a second chance. A chance to live a more civilian